Hi guys, welcome to today's video, and I just want to put out a little disclaimer about one of the products I'll be using. So I'm going to go ahead and do that in the beginning here after this, but this is the look that I came up with today. So if you're interested, just keep on watching. Right, so before I dip into this palette, there are some things I want to say about it because I feel like it's important and it needs to be mentioned. So as you can see by the design, it is, I mean, it's very beautiful, but this product and a couple of their other products from this collection that they came out with were kind of themed a certain way, and the problem is that they're not giving credit where credit is due. Now, they just called it the Sandstone Palette. They didn't like outwardly express that this is kind of like a tribute to like Native American culture or art or anything of that sort. So I mean, it's a beautiful palette. Look at the freaking colors in this. Like, I can't wait to use it. But I wanted to bring up the fact that I do think cultural appropriation does play a role in this, and like maybe I'm being a little dramatic, but I think that Colourpop should have maybe spent a little more time thinking about how a design like this, how the shade names that are, I mean, you can't even see them in my camera, but they ended up coming into a lot of controversy. And this palette is not a new palette. This has been out for like 7 months now. It's not a new palette at all. And so Colourpop promised that they were going to repackage it so that it wasn't in this type of packaging anymore, and that they were going to rename the shades that people found to be like offensive, but more so in a way that was like cultural appropriation, not necessarily like Colourpop was being outwardly offensive. I just think it was negligence on their part. But anyways, they promised that they would repackage this, that they would change the shade names. I know this collection also came with like eyeliner pencils and I believe like a cream highlighter, and they promised that they were going to repackage everything, the names would be changed, you know, they were really embarrassed about everything. But I just bought this like less than a month ago. It's probably been like 2-3 weeks, I'm gonna say 3 weeks that I've had it, and obviously the packaging hasn't changed, and the shade names are all what I assume are the original shade names, to be quite honest. But the thing is, it's just makeup, right? And a lot of people will tell you that, and they're like, it's just makeup, who the fuck cares like about a design or about a shade name or about whatever. And I get it, it is just makeup, but at the same time, I don't think that we should be negligent and ignore when, you know, somebody is outwardly using designs and styles that are representative of another culture and not even to give credit to that culture. Like, there was no models for this that were or that at least were outwardly like displayed as Native American. They didn't like do this as a tribute to where this nation came from, and they didn't have any models, at least that I saw, for the swatches, like the arm swatches that I've seen. I mean, yeah, they use like light, medium, and deep tones to do the swatches, but other than that, I mean, there's no actual like Native American inspiration behind this. At least I don't think there was, and if there was, then they really missed the mark, because I think that this palette, it's a beautiful palette and I love the colors. I'm gonna use it, but I just think it's important to talk about these things so that maybe other brands in the future won't be so negligent about it. I mean, I don't think they had bad intentions. I don't see why Colourpop would want to ruin their reputation, but I just wanted to put all that out in the open about this palette, because I mean, as much as I love the way it looks, I think it's beautiful, I know I'm gonna use it, that doesn't matter as much as I think the message that they still have not repackaged this 7 months later, and they actually came under controversy on fire, like on Twitter, basically when they were announcing the release of this collection. So the fact that I'm still buying it in the original packaging 7 months later, and with what I assume are the same shade names, shows me that they haven't really repackaged it yet. And I mean, I bought this off Ulta's website, so maybe Ulta is just carrying like the old ones still, and maybe Colourpop really has changed the packaging on this, but at least it from Ulta, the one that I bought, no, it's the original packaging, seems like the original shade names. And I just wanted to point out, I only bought the palette from this collection, and I had no clue about the whole cultural appropriation thing until I saw another video and she was talking about it. And I totally see where she's coming from now, and it almost made me not want to make a video on the palette. But I mean, I would have bought this palette no matter what it was called, no matter what it was packaged in, no matter what the shade names were, just because it's beautiful and I love it, and I think that I'm going to be able to create some really great looks with it. But I wanted to make sure that you guys know I disagree with this concept, even though as gorgeous as it is, like I love it to death, but I disagree with the concept of not giving credit where credit is due. And that's exactly what Colourpop did. They didn't give credit where credit was due, and that's frustrating. And I feel like they came under fire that day on Twitter for good reason, because I think that some people are already so insensitive and intolerant of other cultures, and I don't feel like we need to like have more of that in our life, especially in the beauty community where there's already so much drama going on for stupid reasons all the time. But I just really wanted to point that out. It made me kind of uncomfortable when I opened this in my package at first, and I was like, sandstone, like I kind of expected more of like a deserty themed like packaging, but no. So what I'm gonna do is I'm still gonna do a review on it. I'm still gonna do an eye look with it. I'm still gonna, you know, treat it the same as I would any other product. But I wanted to put this disclaimer kind of in the beginning of the video, or towards the beginning of the video, before I get into my makeup, because I really thought that it was an important thing to talk about. So now that I have told y'all the scoop about this palette, I guess I'll just get into the look now. I'm just priming my eyes with some Wet n Wild PhotoFocus concealer. I think this was replaced by the Incognito concealer, because I just haven't seen that at all anywhere. But yeah, I'm just gonna blend in my base and then set it with some powder. So now And I'm not even sure which color to go in with first. Let's try Canyon Loop right here. It's this orangey shade. I keep forgetting that this palette doesn't have a mirror. So I'm just gonna fluff this through the crease on both sides. Wow. It's weird because some of the mattes have like glitter particles in them, but they're not like an actual shimmer. So that's what Canyon Loop had. It had like little shimmers in it, but I don't really see it showing up on my eye. So I think next I'm gonna go in with a smaller brush, and I'm going to use it on my color switch real quick. Ooh. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to try taking the shade Big Butte. It's right here on the bottom. And I'm going to put that a little bit lower in the crease. Lower than that first color so that it kind of blends together and goes from like orange to red. And I'm just going to take the brush I was using before, the Morphe M504, to take the shade Canyon Loop again and maybe dip into a little bit of Open Road just to lighten the edges a little bit, because I feel like it is looking a little like crazy. But then again, I have like no eyelid space, so it kind of always looks like that. Alright. And it's actually kind of working if I really put the effort in. It's hard for me to like hold my brush like really close to the ferrule, and I see a lot of people do that and their eyeshadow looks so good. But like for me, this just feels so uncomfortable. I have to like have my hand at the end. But I don't know. Wow, these colors are really nice together though. There's some kick up in the pan, so be aware of that if you have this. I'm trying to think of how else I can deepen this a little bit. Maybe okay, so I'm gonna try actually making a halo eye. I can't talk. I'm gonna try to make this like a halo eye type of thing. So I'm gonna put dark on the inner and outer corners so that in the middle there's like this gap, and we're gonna fill that with like a shimmer shade, and it's gonna look super dope, hopefully. Let's see. I like that I don't have to use a lot of product to get a lot of pigment out of these shadows. But I've always heard Colourpop shadows are good. I've just never tried them. Wow. So I'm just gonna keep taking the shade Big Butte, and I'm going to just keep patting it on the inner corner and the outer corner, and then just kind of blending in between there. And same thing over here. And I think it's time to take my big blending brush again, the M504, and blend out the edges. Wow. I I mean, maybe it's not coming off like perfectly on here, but in the mirror, it's like you can see a really good gradient between these two shades. And I feel like on camera, it's not like showing completely. So that sucks. But next thing I'm gonna do is I kind of want to prime my lid for the inner portion of the lid that we're gonna cover with shimmer. So I'll be right back while I get some notes. I'm a little scared to do this, but I think I can pull it off. So I'm gonna use some MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in the shade NC15. And I'm just gonna put like, I haven't used this yet, it's a brand new bottle, so it's like, oh my gosh, dude, literally. Okay, so I'm just gonna put one pump on the back of my hand, and it's like the tiniest pump ever, so that should be like more than enough to cover just the small areas. So first, I want to put it on the bottom and then blink. I can't do that trick, I swear. Like, I see people do it and I can't do it because it's like my eyelids like don't touch in the right spot. Anyways, I'm just gonna do like a middle kind of dome shape. Oh, and of course I get it like right up there. Okay. So we're going for the dome shape on the inner portion. Okay. And this is just a very small like concealer brush that I got in a set from Amazon. Alright. Now I'm gonna try to make this even. God knows if that's gonna happen. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh no. Any type of cut crease or like application of concealer to my eye like stresses me out. Okay, so I'm gonna try to make this look not so harsh, but at the same time like have a defined I'm just gonna add a little more to the other eye because I had some extra product, and I think I took this one higher, so I'm gonna have to like do that on this side. At least when the shimmer goes on here and I blend everything, it's not gonna look like as stupid as it does right now. But yeah, I totally failed to make this like an actual halo eye, so this is gonna be just like whatever the fuck you want to call it. Okay, so if I go back into the palette, I have to figure out what I'm gonna use on my lids. So I'm just taking this old Sephora collection brush. It's a small shadow. I'm gonna wet this brush first actually too, because on top of that base and with a wet brush, I think it's gonna look really good. And what do I want in the center? I think I'm gonna start with Spring Valley. Wow. I don't know if these have like an overspray on because I felt like I kind of had to get through a layer right now. And I'm gonna pat this in the inner and outer corner, or inner, outer, I mean they are corners. So inner and outer corners. And then I'm just gonna like leave a blank space for a brighter shimmer in the middle. I feel like this like didn't stick as well as I thought it would. I mean, I guess it's doing all right. So more Spring Valley for the other eye. Okay.
So this eye, I definitely did a little more than I probably needed to. Okay, it's fine. We just even it out. Okay. It's like this side doesn't even look shimmery, but I know it's because of the light. Like, I know it's because this isn't showing up. Perfect. Okay. So even just having this like on the lid, I think I can still create like a halo eye type of shape. I'm not giving up. I swear to I'm not gonna give up on this halo eye. So now for the very, very middle, I want to use this shade Desert Sky right here on the very end, middle row. And I'm going to need another packing brush that's not dirty. I just washed all my brushes, so that shouldn't be too hard to find. But I have so many blending brushes that it makes things hard to find. Okay. I'm gonna spritz this brush too, just because, you know, this mister is like getting harder to like pump. Whatever. Okay, so going in with that Desert Sky. This is like a really cool duochrome shade because it looks kind of silver, and then you look at it from another angle where like different lighting will make it look like a light green. So that's just what I'm packing on the middle of my lid. I'm really keeping it focused there. So I'm gonna take my original blending brush from before. I'm gonna blend out the edges, blend the top. And do the same to the other eye. I feel like this eye is coming out so much better, and this eye is like, I mean, they look almost the same, but still, this eye is like not as good, I swear to God. No, I refuse to believe that is the highest color payoff I can get. So I'm gonna use my finger. Oh yes, and there it is. And I'm gonna bring it up just a little bit, kind of like I did before. And yes, there it is. That's like the kind of like pigment I was looking for. It was like way too like faded out before. Now I'm just gonna blend this. Yes. It's not terrible, but it's not like a perfect halo eye. I think I've done better halo eyes not trying to use like concealer, like just using a wet brush. I think would work fine. So I'm gonna put this palette away for right now while I work on my liner and the lashes. So I'm gonna come back with my liner and lashes already on. I will be right back. Alright, so now that my liner and lashes are done, I'm gonna work on my face. If you didn't see, the lashes I used are AOA Studio in the style Tori. So they're these are their faux mink ones, so they're really fluffy. I just haven't put mascara on yet because I'm waiting for them to dry. First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna spray myself with some of this, the Mario Badescu facial spray with aloe, herbs, and rose water. It's nice. Okay. So, I think for moisturizer, I want to go with this Glow Recipe Banana Soufflé Moisturizing Cream. Cream Hydrant. I can't even say it. There's like a French version at the bottom and I can't say it. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of like this is so much, but I hate doing like digging into products with nails. Oh my god. Okay. Let's just, yeah. Alright, so I'm going to be retrying this e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. I tried it one time and I didn't really like it, but I want to give it a second chance, so I'm just going to really focus this on the areas where my pores are really prominent. So it's like my cheeks and nose. And I mean, I might as well just take it all over my whole face. But I really want to focus this on my cheeks because that's where I've got a lot of texture. And if this can smooth it out a little bit, that'd be nice. So for concealer, for foundation, I'm going to use the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation and concealer. But I'm actually just going to use it as foundation. So I'm going to do like 2.5 pumps. If I remember, this is really high coverage, so I might have just put too much on my hand. Where's that sponge? Here it is. I think I remember like liking the finish of this, but if you wear it for too long, it just like starts to separate and look weird. Okay, now I actually need more product, so one more pump. Whoa, fucking A. Okay. I'll deal with that later. Okay, so I'm just gonna put some across my forehead. Right. So now that that's done, I'm gonna go in with some concealer. And I guess I'm gonna use the Tarte Ultra Creamy Shape Tape, just because I haven't used it in a little bit. I'm just gonna put this some concealer on the outside. I kind of like to make 3 dots and then 2 dots. And then a little bit on my nose, my cupid's bow, my chin, and then up here. that that's blended in, I'm gonna set my eyes real quick because they crease super quick if I don't. But I've got another cream product to try, so I'm not gonna set my whole face yet. So I'm just setting under the under eyes with that Coty Airspun powder. I have like a lifetime supply of this powder, so I feel like this is what I'm gonna be using for the next like year and a half. Okay. Oh, and it gets everywhere, which is super cool. Okay. So now I'm gonna be using the Tarte Shape Tape Glow Wand. This is in the shade Aglow. Okay. Looks a little dark for my skin tone, honestly. But I figured I could use it as like a contour. So we'll see. And then it also comes with like a little sponge on the bottom. But like I can't imagine how that's helpful because it's dry. And it's not like you could really get it wet like and have it stay in there. So I'm gonna put a little bit where I normally put my contour. So on this way. And this way. Under the chin. And a little bit around my forehead. Okay. So I'm gonna try blending this out and seeing how it looks. Right now it just looks like some weird lines. Okay, so it's not super noticeable, like, and I'm still gonna put a powder contour on top, but I like that it actually comes off cool toned on the skin instead of warm toned, because that's what I was most worried about. Like if I used a little bit more, I could probably get like a better contour out of this, but I mean, I'm literally just making this face of makeup to take off in a little while. So that was the last cream product I wanted to use. Right now I'm just gonna set my whole face. So for my powder contour, I'm going to take the butter bronzer and I'm going to take this kind of smallish face brush. It's a number 3 BH Cosmetics. And I'm just going to swirl around. Oh, I love how good this smells. Like I've had it forever and it literally still smells good. It's amazing. Okay. It's weird because I feel like I can see the contour showing up on camera, or not on camera, in my mirror. But then like on camera, it's like so dulled out. But I'm gonna put a little more. I think I'm gonna go into this Wandavision Ulta Beauty blush palette. I don't know why I forgot what I was gonna say. Okay, so I'm just using this old Morphe blush brush. I think I'm gonna take just the top one, the top corner one, top left corner. Alright, and for highlighter, I'm gonna go ahead and retry this Makeup Revolution Splendour Ultra Glow highlighter. I didn't really like this the first time I used it, but I want to try it again because maybe you know, opinions change. It's not bad, but it's not like spectacular. More. I think when you add a second layer, it's nice, but like, I don't feel like you should have to do that. But I mean, it's not the worst highlighter I've ever used, but also not among my favorites. But packaging is really pretty though. Alright, I'm just gonna put on some of this Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara on top, or on my top lashes. So now I'm gonna work on the under eyes, bring the palette back out. Alright, and just using that smaller blending brush, I kind of cleaned it off, but I'm gonna go into Canyon Loop and Big Butte, and then just run those under my under eye area. It actually looks really nice. Okay. Simple, but adds a very nice touch. Okay, so now I just gotta do setting spray, and oh no, I need to do mascara for my bottom lashes. So, oh, Bad Gal Bang, we're using that. Okay, so I've got some mascara on my bottom lashes. I got like a little bit extra under this side, but I mean, just take some makeup remover and a Q-tip. Just kind of like blend it away. I didn't do a very good job of that, but anyways, so for setting spray, I'm going to use my L'Oreal Infallible Pro Spray and Set. And that's about it for this look. This is what we're looking at as far as eyeshadow. I actually kind of like how it came out in the end. I am gonna do some more like in-depth pictures and videos of my looks because I feel like it showcases them a little better, like the colors and everything. But yeah, that's that. So here is the final look. As far as the palette goes, I really like it. I'm definitely gonna use it again. I just put that disclaimer out in the beginning so that people would be aware of what they're buying, and hopefully the Colourpop has repackaged the palette. I blew my nose a little bit, so I messed up my foundation here, but overall it's not bad. I think I do like the Poreless Putty primer, but I'm gonna have to keep trying it. But anyways, go ahead and like and subscribe if you feel like it, and thank you for watching.